All right, so you are drinking ayahuasca or you're considering to drink ayahuasca and you want to make sure that you don't have a bad trip. Maybe you have heard from your friends or you have read on the internet that people go crazy, they lose their mind, they go through hell, and maybe somebody told you something that is making you doubt, or it has you in a little bit of fear because there's something you want to heal, something you want to explore, and you don't want to end up more traumatized, right? So it's a fair question. So I'm going to share with you 4 tips on how to ensure you don't have a bad trip with ayahuasca. This is my personal experience with a few years drinking the medicine, probably over 100 times, and facilitating and supporting over hundreds of people in their own journey, helping people go through very difficult trips, through very rough healing processes. This will be my suggestions to you, okay? So, number 1, your breath. Your breath is your anchor. Your breath is part of your body and the part of your body that connects your mind to your physiology. You will never see a person that is very calm, grounded, and peaceful, breathing like this. And you will never see someone who is anxious, paranoid, and just overwhelmed, breathing like this. So your breath is the fastest way during a ceremony or during your day to come back to your center. If you pay attention every time that you're overwhelmed and that your mind is agitated, your breath is either fast-paced or shallow. So make sure that you breathe deep into your belly, not only on your chest, but if you place your hand on your belly, make sure that when you inhale, your belly is filled in slowly, and exhaling from your belly too, also from your nose only, okay? So this is the first tip. If you can control your breath during a ceremony, you can see something challenging, something difficult, you're feeling scared, anxious, it will be a matter of 1 or 2 minutes until your system calms down. Now, here's a trick that most people don't know, and it's that our lungs and our capacity is quite limited. Even if we do a deep inhale, we're not filling in our lungs fully. However, if we do 2 consecutive breaths quickly, our capacity is massively extended. So it looks like this. Try it and you will see that on the second quick breath, there's a deeper capacity to absorb air that comes into your system. And if you exhale, even if you try this just 2 or 3 times like I just did, I can already feel relaxation through my body. So if you're in the middle of a bad trip and your mind is all over the place, breath is the anchor. It's what grounds you. Okay, number 1. Number 2, when people have a very rough experience where they vomit, shit themselves, are screaming, they may not remember a lot of what happened the next day, it's usually because there's too much energy running through their system and they're not used to it. It's like you plug something that can handle 120 volts into a power generator that will burst it with 5,000 volts. It's going to explode. It's impossible that it can handle it unless it is properly grounded. You can ground your body through breath, for sure. But also spend time in nature before heading to ceremony. If you can do it barefoot, if you can touch a tree or touch dirt, if you have a garden, just the more that you're spending time in nature, the more grounded your body is becoming. In the middle of a ceremony, you can take your shoes off and your socks off and place your feet firmly on the ground and your palms facing downwards, laying on your thighs. This will ground you too, and sitting upright. But there's a practice that has been around for thousands of years and which is designed with the main intention of allowing your body to be in deep balance and then open itself up to stronger, higher, more intense energies. And that is Hatha Yoga, especially the traditional Hatha Yoga. If you can do this at least a month or at least a few weeks before you come or go to ceremony, you can go through very, very, very profound experiences without being agitated, without feeling like you're losing control, which is most people's fear. So to prepare your body, you want to spend time in nature, barefoot, hopefully touch the earth, plant a tree, work on your plants, just spend time in nature. Be barefoot in the ceremony if you're feeling overwhelmed, and sit properly with your palms facing down. And most importantly, hatha yoga. It will increase your capacities, your mind and your body's capacity to navigate very intense energies. And it's a day and night experience. People that come to work with us, we recommend that at least a month out, they do some form of hatha yoga. It's very simple. You can practice it at home. If you go on YouTube right now, you can find 5 to 10 minutes of a simple class. Tip number 3, preparation. If you eat poorly, if you're having sex with a lot of different people, or a couple of days before you come to ceremony, you've taken a lot of substances, if you're treating this recreationally, like it's just a game, do not be surprised if the medicine treats you like it's just a game. And sometimes the medicine can be quite strict in the sense that it demands respect, because it's a sacred process. And when people come without having prepared, and when they come with an attitude of, I don't care, then the medicine is like, okay, I don't care either. And there you go. Here you're gonna go into a deep experience and you figure it out. So one of the best ways to avoid a bad trip is prepare properly, especially with your food, with taking breaks from news, social media, or like what you feed to your mind, and the people that you are in touch with. In an ideal world, you will spend as much time in nature, only with your loved ones or alone, and not reading or scrolling through social media endlessly. Eating healthy foods, hopefully vegetarian or plant-based. This also has a tremendous impact. I have had ceremonies that have been really, really challenging for me, because a few days ago I was eating ice cream with milk, or I was eating meat, or doing something that it came out during the ceremony. I had a rough time, a very difficult time navigating a lot of emotions that then I found out were coming from the food that was in my system, from something I had read online. So please prepare properly if you want to have a trip that is nourishing and not overwhelming. Tip number 4, and the most important one: there's no such thing as a bad trip. What I mentioned prior, if you still had a trip that is overwhelming, most of the time you get a lesson. Sometimes the lesson is that you need to work on your body. Sometimes the lesson is that you need to reconnect to your breath. Sometimes the lesson is that you have to stop drinking milk, eating meat, drinking alcohol, taking certain substance. There's no such thing as a bad trip, because a bad trip just means it is unpleasant. But most of the unpleasant things in life lead to very beautiful things if done consciously. Just when you were born, I'm sure it was not very pleasant for your mother. Childbirth is a really painful, maybe one of the most painful experiences that a human being can have, that a woman can have. So when you go to the gym, it's not very pleasant, but you feel the vitality, you feel the health, you feel the strength. Starting a business, starting a relationship, these things are not pleasant all the time. They're quite challenging, but also to the same degree they're nourishing. So just the fact that your ceremonies are unpleasant doesn't mean they are bad. It means that maybe there's a lot to purge, a lot to cleanse, a lot for you to understand, and there's a lot of rejection from your mind. So the 4th tip is put your judgments aside and open yourself up to the possibility that whether it is bliss and rainbows and talking to gods and goddesses and meeting God for the first time and feeling that you discover your life's purpose, or whether it's confusing and overwhelming and you feel jaded and frustrated and anxious and in fear, open yourself up to the understanding that it is what you need, and that if you get a beautiful gift, look at it, be present to it, receive it fully with open arms. And if you get a bunch of shit, let's say, use it to plant the seeds of something else. Use them as the bricks with which you build a stronger foundation for who you are. Personally, I love when a trip is beautiful and when I learn and it's smooth. And it has been the difficult ones, the ones that have changed my life the most. So I won't consider them bad, just challenging in the moment. Alright, the links are in the description of the video. Like and subscribe if you like this, and talk soon.